You know, David has a few things in common with our next roaster tonight. They both work in broadcasting, sports broadcasting here in the state of Arkansas. They have both given back so much to this state, and we thank them for that all the time. They both played college football, and they both chose to do so at a school outside of their home state. Please give it up for Keith Jackson, everybody.
How lucky can one man get? Y'all didn't think a brother knew that kind of stuff, did you? Yes, I am the token. But I will tell you this, Rex, I am a color commentator, not a colored commentator. You get it right next time. You get it right next time. That bothers me when people call me a colored commentator. We really don't know which name to use. One time we're black, we're African American. I don't know what's next, David. I don't know, but I'm not colored. I can tell you that right now. Although I am a different shade than you are. Boy, isn't it great to be here right now? You know, I actually did the same thing. I'm not going to talk about everybody down the line because I like all you guys, unlike Rex, but But I am going to do this. I polled a lot of people. I kind of got ahead and called and asked some people who's coming to it. So I kind of called around and said, being up here, I want to represent you. What kind of questions would you want me to ask David, or you want to know about David? And, I got one that says, well, David looks so good, but in a family, you got to balance out things. Now, I know your mom and dad is here, they look good, but there's got to be somebody butt ugly in your family. Because it's got to balance out a little bit. Tommy, thinking of that, you were right about, they said, where does David Basil, that was a question, spend the most of his time? The answer was, in the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the best-looking former football player for the Razorbacks of them all? You are David Basil. I'm glad y'all got that. Does David have any marketing skills outside of promoting himself or naming trophies? I didn't ask the question. Who did that? Who did that? Somebody at this table did that. I'm just reading the stuff here. The answer is no. I can't do this. Your mother's here. Okay. Whew. Is there anything behind those good looks and that smile and that nice body? 100 women were polled and they all said no. I enjoy being around David Basil. We do have a lot in common, but to compare him to me as a football player was just wrong. We'll talk about this a little later. He was all conference, maybe. He talks about one game. Roger, I told David that I wouldn't give him a hard time because he has the mic in the morning. See, you guys are sitting around him. You can stop him from talking about you, but he can give me a hard time. But I do have to tell you that when I met David Basil for the first time, I became a fan of David Basil. Here I am, a Parkview High School Patriot in 1984, and we meet each other for the first time at a FCA conference. Now, stay with me. Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I said, you know what? Me and David Basil, we got a lot in common. We're good looking and athletic. I know I've gained a little weight. Don't look at me like that. He loses his for every event, all right? Because between the Hall of Fame, he gained 20 pounds, and he's got smaller just for this event. Next week, he'll be my size again. Somebody said you like to eat. But David, I look up to David. We both are about fair play and sportsmanship. As a matter of fact, we could have been on a board and talked about the right thing to do when you're an athlete. You knock a guy down every now and then, you pick him up. things like that. You just really are good to the other people. When the game's over, you know what you're supposed to do? They taught us in Little League, you get in a row, you shake the other people's hand, good game, whether you won or lost. You know you don't want to do it because when you lose, you want to go straight to the locker room, but you're taught better than that. You're really taught better than that. So this last thing, David Basil being a Christian, sportsmanship, a nice guy, a great football player, it bothers me. But let me tell you this, though. I'm sorry. I hope y'all don't know where I'm headed. But I have to tell you this. I understand. See, understanding don't mean that you agree, but I understand. Because there's one team in the SEC that we hate more than any other team. For instance, I was walking to the game, and all of a sudden, there's this little 6-year-old kid, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Tiger bait." I mean, he's telling everybody in front of me, "Tiger bait, tiger bait." And boy, he looks at his dad for approval, and he looks back and he goes, "Tiger bait, tiger bait." And every time a Razorback fan would walk past, he'd look at his dad gave him that thumbs up. I walked so close to this kid. I might have been a little bigger than I am now, Chris. He looked at me, he said, "He's a big one, Dad." And I gave him that little knuckle like I'll knock you out, you little. I'll hit a 6-year-old, I don't care, Child abuse, I don't know about that. Okay, so I understand why David Basil gets called up and under that pressure moment, and he's got to talk to the Arkansas Razorbacks, as you talked to Coach Bielema, and he said, and he gives them 5 minutes and he takes 25 minutes because we passionately hate LSU. But I know David Basil, my good Christian friend, right? I've never heard him say a curse word or anything. His speech goes something like this, because I'm still a Christian and he's backslided. I won't say the curse words. At the end of that game, after you beat LSU, you get your back over there and take that beat back. And he just said that, and all of a sudden he got caught up. So I talked to David after that. I said, "What did you do after that?" He said, "I got on the phone and called my mama." And I apologized because I said, "Mama." Now, he only apologized because he got caught. He didn't apologize. He knew that they had him and they were going to show it on ESPN. "Mama, I'm sorry. I showed it on ESPN and everything." And he was a little upset about that. So his mother says, I'm going to try to do your voice. "David?" No, too Jewish. "David?" No, too black. "David?" That's better. "You embarrassed me with the ladies at the bridge club. But I'm glad y'all whooped their beep." Apparently she doesn't like LSU either. I will tell you this, David Basil was one of my original board members when I started a foundation, and he's always been there. There are certain people, when they come into your life, they give to it, and there are certain people who take from it. Hey, it has been really great to have a guy to come to our state and add so much to it, and he didn't want to go home. But you got to realize he's really not from Panama City. He's from a little small outside of town where a stop sign says, "Whoa." And then they got a guy over there every now and then say, "Giddy up." Isn't that the way it is? But it's so great to have a guy who would come to this place, come to Arkansas, and love Arkansas like he's always been here. And I appreciate him as a friend. David?
Keith Jackson, everyone. I should mention, yes, he has a Super Bowl ring and is, among many other football accolades, and is an incredible former athlete. Yes, yeah, there you go. I got you, Keith. He's intimidating.